12:47. There's our exhaust, there's our fresh air, and we started at 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. 2.5 hours, folks.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Monday, December 29th, 2025. A little after 6 o'clock here in the morning. We're at our shop here in Woodmere, New York. I am putting together a U.S. boiler, Burnham Alta. We're not going to prefab it the way we normally totally do, mounted on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, painted Pipe Dr. Blue. It's a single zone boiler only, and we're taking out an existing tankless combi, a Baxi Luna 3 that, let's just say, should never have been sold, in my opinion, in the United States to begin with, because there's zero support from the manufacturer. They're a local distributor in New York. They don't even have an address listed. They have a P.O. box. You call them, you're not getting them on the phone. I left 3 messages last week on Tuesday, and I called again on Wednesday, Christmas Eve. Were they going to pick up the phone? I didn't think so. But we got this U.S. boiler, Burnham Alta 136 combi, delivered by FW Web on Friday. I made a special trip into the shop to receive delivery of that. Not 1, but also 2. But I'm going to be installing this today because I have a short week this week. We have New Year's Eve on Wednesday. We have New Year's on Thursday. The guys are only working a half day on Friday, and I'm leaving Friday for 2 weeks for a holiday with my family in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So make sure you check out the Mikey Pipes Uncensored YouTube channel, where everything else but plumbing. Check out this prefab kind of setup this morning.
That's about right there. All right, folks. I am putting together the majority of the near boiler piping in the shop, not on site. We have a couple service calls to run before we actually go to this job this morning. Should I say maybe early afternoon. It's only a single zone boiler. So we have 4 pipes, domestic in, domestic out, space heating out, spacing in, 5, gas, 6, condensate, 7, exhaust, 8, fresh air. We got 8 pipes to connect. We have electric and thermostat. Not too shabby. So I'm putting a lot of this together beforehand. I'm using an extra number 15 since it's it's not a very big house, more like a little bungalow. And we're gonna pipe this together here. I'm gonna put a short little piece of 1.25 inch pipe there. I got my bandsaw ready to cut the 1.25 inch pipe that I had left over from another job. We're gonna be rocking and rolling here. But looking quite excited. Try to save time. And when you do tankless combis, my little pro tech or tech tip to you, if you got some spare time, set it up in your shop, the garage, wherever you're at, your shed. Doesn't really the basement if you can get it out easy, right? And think about this. You plan for being able to bring it into that space, that conditioned space where this boiler is going to be mounted. I did a job that I needed to deliver before December 1st, and literally we needed to take out one of the zones right on the boiler that I had pre-built. It was a 2-zone boiler in order to get it into the basement from a basement stairs at the garage. I'm sorry, at the driveway. So take the, your space limitations and how many you get this in. Think about that before you start throwing everything together, especially if you have multiple zones, because you don't want to get stuck taking everything apart and then basically taking twice as long to do the job. So just keep that in mind, guys. Also keep in mind that I'm using an extra number 15 now. A number 30 is going to be a little bit wider, so you're going to have to give yourself a little more room there. But right there should be good. We'll take a measure, tape measure, cut that together. Boom. See you in a minute. Don't you hate it when it starts to unravel on you? The PTFE tape, also known as the trade name Teflon tape. Don't you hate it when it unravels on you? It's really annoying. I am fitting together male adapters on my tankless flush valves. Just doing it on a vise. It's just easier. I have it right here in the shop. Make sure I don't press together or crimp the other side and I got problems, but all right. So I got my domestic cold water where I want it to be. Here's my domestic hot. Let's fit that together. Beautiful. Don't forget those washers, ladies and gentlemen. Those washers need to be in there. Make sure it's still sitting there. Perfect. And then that'll go there. Perfect. I am going to get some pieces of 3/4 inch piping there, and I'm going to build myself a split ring hanger and a piece of threaded rod to support up the domestic hot and cold water, and then my space heating return, space heating supply, obviously after the circulator. All right, I got the Grundfos Alpha circulator. This is the WPMS 2058F, right? Yep. And the instructions for installation are a little just not too specific, with the exception of page number 4 and 5. There is the circulator with the arrow in the up direction, right? It's not pointing down, and it doesn't have multiple pictures like this does, where you could, okay, if it's up that way, that way, that way, the body itself. But it does say that it is up. So does that mean you can only install it in the actual control itself is pointing like an upward fashion, or does that always have to be up, like pumping upwards? I don't really know, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to install it with the arrows pointing down because that's where I need to go. And I'm going to rotate the body around. All right, folks, we're going to cut some gas piping, 3/4 inch black. There you go. We're going to put a union there, so let me rethread this because I don't really trust that, and then put some threads right here. Help if it wasn't in reverse. Uncut, unedited, raw. If you want uncensored Mikey pipes, check out my uncensored channel, Mikey Pipe Uncensored. I post every single day to that channel too. So, if you want more than plumbing and HVAC, Mikey Pipes Uncensored on YouTube. Bring that a little closer. Say it again? Just solder that on. That's it. Let's throw this union on right now. Tighten that up on the machine. Yeah, a little bit more. Good. I really want to use that, and we're going to use it right now. 1/2 inch copper pipe bender. Now it's missing a bunch of pieces, but nonetheless, we're going to make this work. Missing that pin, but we are going to make this bad boy work. Okay, so I made a mark where I want that bend to be. Of course, that's going to be in the way. Oh, hold on. I'm not on the pipe. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Ain't I an idiot? Come on, get in there. Here you go. Come on, baby. Let's see. Oh, now they're going to say, Mikey Pipes, what are you wearing a gold bracelet for? And I'm like, because I can. Oh, man, what happened here? I'm retarded. All right, take two. There we go. There we go. This is what I get for trying to show off to the people. Come on. Get in there. Almost. Okay. I just want to get past there and I can use this again. Let's go to 90.
Your leg is on top of the pipe. It's not moving.
I know it's not moving. Okay. I made a 90-degree bend with the bender. And if I had the right pin, this would have been done much easier. But there's that bend that I wanted. So now, this will go there. All right, that'll go there. We're gonna cut in a T here. Well, actually, can't we do it this way? Oh man, really? Is that far off? Nah. It would be really nice if this lined up with that, but it don't. Oh, I forgot to flux. Can you believe that? Yeah. Been pressing for so goddamn long.
You said you want it to be here?
All right, yeah, put it there. Been pressing for so effing long that I forgot to flux it. No real snots. We good.
And remember, folks, 2025 is not over until you get yourself a Mikey Pipes version 2.0 if you ain't testing your guessing poster. 100% of proceeds from the sale of the posters go to the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy charitable organization, where we provide free or low-cost plumbing, heating, cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. Each poster is $42.50. You can only get it directly from me. It'll be autographed, signed. If you want me to wish your wife, girlfriend, mistress, whatever, happy birthday, happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is, I am a hustler, and I am raising money to promote awareness for the charity. So we're a 501c3 charity, so your donation is a tax-deductible donation. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy. I gotta throw the rest of this together. It's 3 minutes to 7. I've been lollygagging around. Let me stop pussyfooting around, get this done, get those 2 service calls I gotta get to today, and off to this install. Catch you in the next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:01 on Monday, December 29th. We just did most of the work that we can do on the Alta Tankless Combi, prefabricating as much as possible in the shop. Most importantly, giving the boiler water from the domestic cold water side and having all the material laid out. So we have the plywood in the back of my truck. I'm driving the 2024 Mercedes-Benz high roof Sprinter. Yeah, we got a lot of traffic on Broadway here, so we're not going to go that way. We're going to go this way. So hopefully get to this job site within the next half hour. We'll bang out this tankless combi replacement. We good?
Let me see.
Okay. All right, got this Baxi Luna. No bueno. I got the gas turned off. Water's off?
Yeah, there was 2 valves. One
Okay.
is the main one, but I couldn't move that one.
Okay, no problem.
But the other one is another shuttle.
All right. Derek, let's get the automatic tubing cutter. Start cutting this stuff out. All right. Get off. What are you still stuck on there for? Why? Stupid little. Grab one end. Yeah, dump it right next to the shed. And put it right here. Yep. We are getting done. I believe there is something here. I was correct. All right, 5 minutes after 11. I moved the plywood over, favoring the right wall. Let's rock and roll. All right, let's hang this bad boy. Okay, once you get it started, you're good. All right, the objective is to get that to there, this to there, and use some split ring hangers that we built, secure everything. 12:32. And yes, I put it in reverse so I don't shred the vinyl siding. Come on. There you go. Yeah. You'll be all right. Okay. How's your hole? Yeah, baby. See? Exactly what I wanted. Easy peasy. 12:42. She running. Still gotta do condensate, but we up and running. I gotta purge heat exchanger and purge the zone. Let's purge that zone. Let's close that off. Let's open up this.
So right now, this is our supply, and that's our return. So we're pulling back. Sorry, this is the supply. This is the return. So we're pulling from the return through the supply to get all our air out. As long as our pressure maintains, we should be all right. I don't think we're getting any air, but this is a single-story home. All the baseboards on the first floor, which is above the height of where I cut there, so we should be good. Let's open that up there. Let's close this. Let's open up this. Bleed out the heat exchanger. Page 22. All right, we good. 12:47. There's our exhaust. There's our fresh air. And we started at 10:30. 11:30, 12:30. 2.5 hours, folks. Why it takes some contractors 2 days or all day into the evening with a whole crew, I don't know. But not to brag, I just move with a purpose. And as long as my apprentice slash helper knows what I need next, the job is much easier. Derek, what time we get here? 10:30, right? 10:20? What time is it now? 12:47. I don't know. We replaced the boiler in 2.5 hours. I don't know. We could do better.